Hi, this is Tom, and in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to teach you how a camera can make you more effective, and the lenses on it can make you more effective as a leader, as a person, as an individual in this world. Hi, this is Tom, and welcome to this week's Thrive in 5. This week, I'm going to talk about which lens are you using. And over the last little while, I've been spending a lot of time with my camera, and I am in no way a photographer in terms of an expert. I am purely recreational, but I'm learning some stuff, and as I learn about it, I also recognize the profound influence on how I think as a person, and I think there's some lessons in here for you that will help you thrive in your life. And as I've thought about this, just recently I got a brand new lens for my camera. When I bought this camera, and this is an older camera, it's a Nikon D40, older one, there's no video in it, it's a small pixel size, but it's a really good camera. And when I got the camera, I got this lens, which is the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. And for those of you who are less camera savvy than even I, the 18 to 55 millimeter lens is generally one that comes on a lot of standard SLR cameras, and you move it a little bit and it's kind of a close distance. So it's really great for taking portraits, and it's really great for up close stuff. And it gives you that little bit of range from maybe closer up to farther away, but you've got a little bit of movement with it. So that's the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. Then maybe a year after I got the camera, I added another lens, which was the 55 to 200 millimeter lens. And that allows you to kind of go farther away. It's more a telephoto. It's not one of the big telephotos they use in sports and in the professionals carry, but it gives me a range to take bigger photos farther away. So it's more of a telephoto. And I had these two, but I was reading Ken Rockwell's blog, and Ken Rockwell is a photographer. He talks about cameras, and one of the things he suggested that everybody do is get a fixed lens. And a fixed lens allows you to look at things differently because you don't have any capacity to actually move, to move the lens in and out, to zoom in, to zoom out. It only gives you what the lens provides. It's only that size, that 35 millimeter size. And for this last, when I went on vacation a couple of weeks ago, what I spent a lot of time doing was only using the fixed lens. And what the fixed lens forces you to do is really capture the picture within this context only. You have no ability to move it. And that's a really great exercise as a photographer. It's a great exercise to figure out how to do fixed size photos, and for me it was a really interesting experience, and it allows me to do close-ups and perspectives and different things like that. So in telling you all that, there's a lesson, and the lesson I have discovered is this: the lens you use determines the picture you take. Now, you can adjust this lens to get to this picture. It's pretty hard to adjust this lens to get to this particular picture, but you can do it. But really, the lens that you have on your camera is going to give you a certain type of picture. The lens that we operate with as a human, the lens we operate as a leader, as an individual in the world, determines the pictures we have of what's in front of us. So if you have a specific lens on as the CEO of your organization, and that lens is the only one you have at your disposal, you're only going to see things a certain way. You will only see things from that perspective. And so it's really helpful when you recognize that we see the world not just as it is, but as we are, given the parameters of the lens that we're looking at things. It defines how we see it. And when you're willing to change your lens, when you're willing to change the way you think about what you're seeing, you actually have the opportunity to get a different output, get a different picture. And so for me, one of the things that happens when I get in situations where I don't quite know what to do, the first question I have is this the right lens I'm using? So am I looking at this with the right lens? Am I looking at this with the right kind of thinking specific to this situation? And so that's one question that I bring into the situation. Am I looking at this the right way? So if I encounter a problem, am I looking at it right? Do I have the right lens on to view the situation? The second thing, and I've learned this very specifically with this fixed lens, is do I have the right position? Because I can't adjust the lens, I can only adjust focus, but I can't adjust zoom in or out. The position you take relative to the picture you're taking becomes really important. So from a position or a perspective position, in the situation that you're struggling with, in the situation you're trying to figure out, does it make sense not just to change the lens, but if the lens is right and you're looking at it right, is there a different position that's worthy of taking in order to get the right picture of the situation? So do you have to move around? Do you have to get somebody else to provide input? Do you have to get some different research? And each of those kind of things provides a different position. So the lens might be the same. You might be looking through the same structure in your own thinking, but you're looking at it from a different perspective. The lens you use, the thinking you do, the way you look at your life is going to dramatically affect how you get an outcome, the picture that you get. And so it's imperative for you, and this is part of a conversation I have regularly with my coaching clients, is how are you looking at this? How are you thinking about it, and how does your thinking actually affect the pictures you get and the decisions you make and the outcomes that come as a result of that? And so today, as you think about this and as you take this little concept in, think about the lens you're using to look at the situation you're in, and is there a way you're using the right lens, or are you in the right position to take the appropriate picture? And by doing so, I hope that helps. If you got any questions on that one, just respond below in the comments. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think about that. And I will be back soon to talk to you about it again. Thanks for dropping by. We'll talk to you soon.